So as I mentioned in my first video, I'm actually writing a book about our 15-year journey. And it's taking a lot longer than I expected. It's already in draft mode, but actually writing a book and editing, it's kind of hard and difficult, a lot harder than I thought. So I thought I would take this particular video and highlight 5 keys that I wrote about, that going from a single rental unit to ultimately our peak of 175 rental doors, which is a combination of houses, duplexes, and apartment buildings. So there's really 5 keys, and I actually had to write them down. First and foremost is you got to start. Right? None of this momentum happens unless you buy that first property. As you'll see, I wrote about and gave you the full history of our first property that we ever bought on Norris Drive in Fresno. We bought it, not to give you the full details, but we bought it for 107, went through a process of doing a cash out refi, and ultimately sold it near the peak for 263. So you got to start. The next thing is time. Right? It's been 15 years for us. And you don't just jump from a single door, single house to some bigger number. Time needs to be a part of this. Time will raise the value. You'll pay down some of the debt. You'll have the ability to do other things. You'll be through multiple real estate cycles. Right? Real estate has cycles, and that's actually my third point. Right? If you remember back to when we started, sort of 2003, it was really where we are today in 18. It was on an uptick, a nice appreciation phase. As you remember, this story didn't end very well because it went parabolic in 2007 and 2008 with all those crazy lending, which was really a dangerous time. And then obviously there was a crash, there was a bottoming out, and now as you come back, I think we're really to where we were beginning, where there was consistent, single-digit appreciation. And again, I think that's where we are today. There will be some times in the market where you're going to have to pause. It's uncomfortable. I wasn't used to it. We had done a transaction every year for well over a decade. But when it got crazy, we stopped. We sat back and we just waited. We kept investigating the market. We kept putting away money. We didn't do anything stupid with it. But we just decided not to play. And then finally is your team. As you grow and you get going with this, you're going to add more and more members to your team. As I've shared in an earlier video, the most important person to get right is the property manager, but there is so much more to this. When you start adding more and more portfolio, you're going to want to get a banker, because lending when you're getting your first one's really easy, right? Anybody could do that. But as you're getting to your 10th or your 15th or whatever, your mortgage broker or your banks are going to become important. Working with a real estate agent that you click with is important. One that speaks your language as an employee or investor is important. Frankly, that's the niche that I'm trying to fill, because when I was doing this, I didn't really click with a lot of folks. But that's why I want to focus on investors as opposed to people who are owner-occupants. So that's really where I'm going after this, and create a brokerage to do that. So again, you got to start. You have to use time. You got to use market cycles appropriately. You have to be willing to pause when you're not sure what to do, and finally, you have to have a team. So all this will be in the book. Once it gets done, I'm hoping in the next 30 days or so. So thank you very much.